Hey, Walt here from StogieReview.com, and this is not a cigar review. So let's kind of clarify that. You know, man, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but in the past I used to do long, detailed video cigar reviews that went for half an hour, 45 minutes, and they were great. They were a lot of fun at the time. I really enjoy doing them. Sometimes I miss sitting down and doing that sort of in-depth review, but these days, one, I don't have the time, and two, the attention span on the internet has just taken a nosedive. You know, everyone's only got a couple of minutes, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to try to sit down and put together a half an hour cigar review. So we transitioned over to these shorter videos a little while back. I was kind of following in the footsteps of Jerry Cruz, trying to condense things. And while they were much more fun, my whole outlook on smoking cigars has changed. I've got a 5-year-old daughter, and I had this crazy notion that once she started going to kindergarten, I would suddenly have more free time. You know, she'd be busy with school, you know, she'd have this going on, that going on, and somehow more time would just magically appear for me. Well, the complete opposite has happened. She goes to school, she comes home from school, I help her with schoolwork, you know, whatever she's got going on. We read books together that she gets from the school library. She's playing soccer a couple times a week, which finally just ended recently. She goes to church choir, she does this. It's just, it's one thing after another. It's crazy. And I find that I really don't have a whole lot of time to smoke cigars these days. Like right now is a really good example of that. I just left work a few minutes ago, and now I'm racing from work to home to pick up my daughter. My wife works second shift, so I need to get home, pick up my daughter from my father-in-law who's watching her, get home, and so I've got this narrow window where I can smoke a cigar before I have to pick up my daughter, make dinner, you know, get things done, that sort of thing. And I'm really shying away from trying new things and being very experimental because I'm just afraid of getting a shitty cigar. As an example, I've got this narrow window, right? If I were to light up a cigar that I'd never had before, that there was a really good chance could be something that just kind of wasn't in my wheelhouse, it would, I don't know, it'd make this drive kind of shitty. Either I'd be choking down this cigar, you know, trying to just enjoy something, or I'd pitch it out the window. And the chances are really good I'd just pitch it right out the window, because that seems to be the trend. If I sit down to smoke a cigar and it's not something I like, granted, I give it a good chance. You know, I'm not pitching a cigar after a quarter inch or anything like that. But, you know, if I start to feel like this cigar is not performing well enough, it's not up to my taste, it's just leading down a bad path, I'll throw it away and get something better, or something that I know I will enjoy in that very limited time I have. It's funny, you know, years ago, I used to think Doc Stogie Fresh was crazy. He had this fantastic podcast, and he would only review and feature cigars that he enjoyed. And I thought, well, you know, how does that work? Because it's not much of a cigar review if you're only featuring cigars that you find enjoyable. If you're not talking about the bad with the good, you know, what good is it? And I completely get it now. I don't know. I guess I've matured in a sense where I've kind of, I don't know, life has opened up, and now I understand why he does that. Why spend time and effort smoking things that either may not be very good or just aren't good just for the sake of doing a video of some sort. So I really want to get back into doing these sorts of videos. However, I think it's going to turn more into a kind of a shoot the shit session, where I'll just talk about what's ever on my mind or talk about the cigar at hand. But I think, as much as it pains me to say it, I think my days of detailed cigar reviews are long gone. You know, I enjoy sitting down and doing write-ups every once in a while, but I'm finding that I enjoy the commentary more. You know, I'll leave the cigar reviews up to Brian Hewitt and Ben and anyone else that comes along. We've been around a long time, people come and go, and kind of work it like that. But for right now, you know, I'm just kind of enjoying cigars wherever they fit. Right now, it's a little car ride. Tomorrow I work from home, so I'll probably get up really early. As long as the weather is decent, we're going into winter here in Pennsylvania, or fall. It's rainy, it's windy, it's cold, it gets dark early, and I've been spoiled for years. I had this office in my basement where I could smoke cigars. We moved a little over a year ago. I don't have that anymore, and if the weather is lousy, I've got to bundle up and try to have a cigar outside, and quite frankly, it's just kind of barbaric to have to go through that. So, just in case you're wondering, I'm smoking the Cuatro Cinco by Hoya de Nicaragua, and as I said, we're not going to be doing much of a cigar reviews these days, but I will talk about this cigar a little bit. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know that my first impression of this cigar was not good. So before I get into that, I want to talk about something mildly related. So I've spent the last probably 6-7 months overhauling my diet, my lifestyle, trying to become a healthier individual. I've lost about 35 pounds. I'm much more active than I used to be. I'm really into just being in the gym. I like lifting heavy weight. I do a fair bit of cardio. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I do enjoy just getting in the gym and just kind of throwing weights around. But at any rate, in my time in the gym, I've discovered this local company. They're called Victor Athletics, and Victor is spelled just as you would imagine, except for in place of the I in Victor, there is a 1. And for whatever reason, as soon as I saw that logo, I just shut down. I just didn't want to know more about the brand. They're great people. I hear wonderful things about them. They support local athletes. They support people in the local community that are trying to lose weight and have positive goals and that sort of thing. And I think that's amazing. That's fantastic. But I won't buy one of their shirts. For one, they're like $35 for a shirt, whatever it is, or a pair of shorts. So it's kind of expensive. I hear they're good quality and all that, but the brand on the shirt says Victor with a 1 instead of an I. I mean, this isn't 1994, and we're not doing leet speak on AOL. That shit drives me crazy. I hate numbers in place of letters. And when I saw Cuatro Cinco spelled with a 4 and a 5, it was just one of those things that it touched a nerve, and I didn't want to associate with a cigar. How could this again? This isn't 1994 and AOL. So it kind of bugged me, and I shied away from the cigar. But I guess about a week ago, I got a package from Drew Estate. A very, very impressive package. Probably one of the nicest packages I've ever received from a manufacturer. Kind of thanking us for helping promote the brands and all this other stuff. It went out to a bunch of cigar media. And I was really, really impressed by this package that they sent. And it just had an abundance of cigars inside. And included in that package were a couple of the Cuatro Cinco. And I thought, okay, well, I didn't have to shell out my own money for them. So I'm not necessarily a hypocrite for smoking a free cigar that the band drives me nuts on. So I lit up the first one a couple of days ago. It was like a Toro size, and I was really, really impressed. Like, I just couldn't believe how good it was. And it's one of those telltale situations where I judge the book by its cover, that sort of thing. Was just really impressed with the cigar. It was smooth, it was powerful, it was creamy, it was like a much more refined version of the Hoya de Nicaragua Antonio, the 1970s. A cigar that I really enjoy, but just, I don't know, it was just taken up a notch. Much smoother, much richer, the flavors are more abundant, they just linger on the palate. I think that the 1970 pales in comparison to the Cuatro Cinco. Just really impressive cigar. The bigger size. So I smoked, and then last night I was outside in the dark. It was getting kind of rainy. I'm bundled up. Again, barbaric situation where I'm huddled up trying to stay warm, having a cigar outside. And I'm smoking this smaller cigar. I want to assume that it was Corona-ish in size. And while not as good as the bigger ring, really impressive. So today, I grabbed another one out of the package, knowing that I had just this this window in which I could smoke a cigar today, which seems to happen on Wednesday afternoons, I grabbed I don't know, it's like a Robusto Larga, for lack of a better description. It's a bigger ring gauge than a traditional Robusto, but it's the same in terms of size. So it's probably a 54, 56 by 5.5, somewhere in that vicinity. And it's going really well. I still think I like the Toro better. It was kind of, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking of that cigar as being an in-between size between the Corona and whatever this Vitola is in terms of ring gauge. And I think that whatever that Toro was just had the right gauge for me. But this is smoking really well too. I'm really impressed by it. I feel kind of bad because I just dismissed the brand initially because the packaging or the band. But again, really solid cigar. I have no idea what the price point is. I was smoking that first one in my local cigar shop. A couple of people saw the band and immediately was asking me where I got it because they have enjoyed it immensely, and they were asking me if my local had it. It was one of those things where, did Tim get this cigar? You didn't get that here, did you? And it was, no, Tim doesn't have it. I don't know if he's getting it. You have to talk to him, kind of a situation. So, as I said, my variety has really dropped in terms of what I'm smoking these days. I smoke a lot of AJ Fernandez New Worlds. Just the original New Worlds, not the Connecticut's. Although a guy from the cigar shop did provide me with one. He was out somewhere and happened to see it. He knew that I was looking to try it. He brought one back for me. I smoked it. While it was good, I think that the original is better, and my local doesn't carry the Connecticut yet. Otherwise, I'd be mixing them up. I'm spending a big part of my cigar budget, which isn't all that big, by the way, on these cigars from my local, because they're like $5 and change. Plus, I get a 5% discount for being a member there. And just the price point is right. I get the larger format, 4-win, it just gives me time to sit down and have a cigar and then bail. And they're just good every time. And that has more or less made up the vast majority of what I'm smoking. On occasion I'll have a Room 101 Payback. On occasion I'll have 4 Kicks from Crown Heads. I really like the Tortuga stuff, but they're priced a little bit higher than some of the stuff that I normally buy. I do like the little Guerrilla Warfares. Those are really good as well. And that is more or less what I've been smoking. I haven't really deviated much from that. And I feel kind of bad, again, because here I am, this guy that used to review cigars a lot at one point in time, and my variety has dried up considerably. So, again, because my time is somewhat limited, I find that I don't gamble nearly as much as I used to on whether or not the cigar will be good for the time that I have, just because where my time was, where I had an abundance of free time before, it ain't there now. So it only makes sense to smoke stuff that I think I'm going to enjoy. I was planning on running the camcorder until I got home. I'm about 8 or 10 minutes away, and I really don't know what to talk about. It's things have been very different than they were over the course of the last couple of years, and I haven't really done much video. So I feel very out of practice. I really don't know what to talk about. But just as just to catch you up a little bit. So I mentioned 6 or 8 months ago I started just kind of taking stock and trying to lose weight and just live a healthier lifestyle. It's funny I say that as I'm smoking a cigar. But I had I was just kind of depressed. You know, I look in the mirror and I wasn't really happy with what I was seeing. So I made a pretty drastic change. I signed up for a gym. I found the program that I liked. I started doing Starting Strength, a program by Mark Ripito. I've stuck with that for, I want to say 2.5, maybe 3 months before I started hitting a plateau where I wasn't getting linear progression anymore with weight. It's a barbell training program, so when I say plateau with weight, I mean the weight on the barbell was no longer going up. So I kept hitting these walls with the program. I think my squat was up to about 225 for 5 reps. So, you know, I'd work up to 225, I'd try 230, and it would be really shaky. I might miss a rep here and there. And the way I saw it, that was a failure. So I would do as the book prescribed. I'd try it again the following week, or the following session. Still wouldn't see any progression. It would just be just as sloppy, no strength gain. So I'd reduce the weight and then build back up with that linear progression again. I did that a couple of times. And then I cut the linear progression from 10 pounds to 5 pounds. And still that really wasn't helping. So I changed up my training routine. I spent a little bit of time with a personal trainer. And these days I'm doing a mix of strength style workouts with hypertrophy stuff. So, you know, depending on how I'm feeling on a given week, I may go in and I may do a lot of strength stuff, trying to do heavy weight, low reps, and then the next day it might be moderate weight, more reps, that sort of thing. I watch a fair bit of YouTube now. I haven't, you know, it was one thing I never did a whole lot of, but if you're into the whole fitness thing, I've been watching a lot of CT Fletcher, motivational stuff. Mike Rashid does a lot of interesting stuff. The super training stuff from Mark Bell has been pretty interesting. I follow a variety of these things on Instagram and whatnot. I started a new Instagram account, kind of dumped my old one. Not really dumped it, but I just kind of focused on fitness. I started a podcast called Slimming Down Dad, audio only, which has been up and down. I was really motivated and doing a lot with it initially. I think I got about 13 episodes in. I hit a rough patch in life. Things got really busy and it was really hard to manage everything else I had going on. So the podcast kind of took a back seat. In the process of getting my rhythm back with that, it's slimmingdowndad.com. It's just it's a listing of all the podcast episodes. It's also on iTunes, and that's kind of where I've been directing my time. So, you know, race from one place to another to do something for my daughter, or take her to practice, or take her to, you know, choir, or I'm running to the gym, or I'm trying to squeeze some cardio in, or, you know, it's just, there's a lot going on, and I've been trying to slip cigars in here and there, and I'm just not smoking cigars nearly as often as I used to, but I still enjoy I enjoy the social aspect of it very, very much. I still try to get to my local cigar shop at least once a week, spend maybe an hour or two in there with the guys, and it's just been a lot of fun. I'm also trying to keep up with events. We did a cigar crawl a little while back. I posted on Stogie review about that. There's another one coming up in, I think it's December 5th. We'll be hitting like 4 shops in the area, which should be really fun. I'm looking forward to that. But between now and then, I don't know how much time I've got to spend at the cigar shop. Again, I just kind of fit it in when it's available. But my throat is getting dry. I've been talking your ear off, rambling a lot, and I'm almost home. So, with that said, thanks for shooting the shit with me. I'll catch you next week, and I don't know. I'll try to catch you again next week, and maybe we can do this again. Hit up the comment section below. Let me know if you like this style of video, if I'm wasting my time. If you've got any cigar recommendations for me, I'd love to hear them. Again, I've been smoking a lot of the AJ Fernandez New World, so if you've got something that's kind of in the wheelhouse of the New World in terms of body, finish, that sort of thing, feel free to share. And again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.